shave every day.
Your face?
My mustache. I shave my face, my mustache.
I didn't even know you had one.
That's right, because
You're really
I shave
good at
every
it.
day. I literally put Barbasol cream on my face, and then I do this, like that, and then I have one hair on my chin, and no matter, I pluck it at night and in the morning. I plucked it last night, and already 24 hours later, I can feel a little bit one. I don't know if that means I'm too healthy or if I'm too disgusting. Let me know in the chat.
Upside is you always have something to say if a little pig tries to get into your house.
A little pin?
Pig.
Oh, a little pin. Oh, don't, not in the hair of my chinny chin chin?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, see, I'm doing brighter side for you.
We should do a switcheroo, and then you do brighter side, and then Ed talks about human trafficking.
I don't think Ed would be able to do. I don't think he would like it.
I think he'd break down crying.
I don't think that he's prepared for that.
No, no. Hi, everybody. Welcome to
Hi.
Someplace Underneath. I'm Amber Nelson.
I'm Natalie Jean. I have the opposite problem, which is I don't grow a lot of body hair, but my hair is very brittle. My nails and my hair are brittle.
Maybe more vitamin E, vitamin D.
I think it's also just I got thin hair.
Oh,
But see, you have lush, thick hair.
That's
and I
right.
guess the trade-off is
mustache.
But hey, you're beautiful.
So if we have a hype train, what if next week I don't shave my mustache, and if we get a hype train, and if we get enough subs, I will shave on air? How do we feel about that?
I'm thrilled.
Do we like this?
I know I can't wait.
Well, crossover Amber for president. Thank you.
Man, we were just watching this horror movie, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. Does anybody remember the name of a movie that just came out?
The CPAC conference. I'm just kidding.
That was the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's about a missing a woman who becomes a park ranger, and she ends up because her sister went missing. It's a horror movie. It's great. It's very spooky. It's all my favorite things in a horror movie. We were watching it, and she's walking in the woods listening to different radio programs, and we're watching it, and Henry goes, "Was that me?" And I was like, because all the voices are like, we can hear them through our earbud, and I was like, "Baby, not everything is you, okay? It's not always you
But
doing
was it,
spooky
though?
things. Oh, you're so silly." And then he Googled it, and he went through like his keywords in his email, and it was him. He had signed like something like 2 years ago, being like, "Can we release your voice to this movie?" And he was like doing 17 things. He was just like, "Yeah, I don't care, whatever." And then it was him.
That's
He
so
heard his own voice,
cool.
and I was all condescending to him the whole time, being like, "Oh, honey. Not everybody's you're not the only one who talks about spooky and trees and scary man." And it was.
And it was
him.
That's so cool.
I wish I remembered the name of the movie.
That's all right. Well, if anybody wants to use our voice, let us know. My soothing and calm voice.
Yeah, people want to use clips of us all the time just talking about
Rape and
child molestation. Thanks for the sub, Winter Hills Honey. Did you already say that?
oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
I hope you're sorry. I've shed hair like nuts since I was 11. L'Oreal. I just started taking 10,000 IU of vitamin D a couple months ago. My shedding is way down. Okay. I don't
take
know.
lots of vitamins. I do an iron supplement every day. Iron will make you shit your brains out, but I think that's a good thing because it gets out all the evils in your body.
Oh yeah, let's start doing a new age health stream where we just say stuff and then you guys try it. Maybe some of it will work.
We just make shit up.
I mean, I think that's mostly what people do.
I was looking at like vegan recipes because sometimes I like to do vegan meals here and there, and 90% of them were showing you like, here's the healthiest meal you can do, and at the like midway through it was like, also buy my supplements. I was like, what? Just give it to me. Just give me the recipe.
No, they're there for the supplement sales.
God, I just want to live a hype train is close. Oh, I don't have my razor with me.
You try to grow your hair out. Push it out. Push it out. Oh, no.
Next
Oh,
week.
no, she pooped.
She poops.
Thanks for the sub, the proper order.
Try eating dirt. Vitamins. Yes. So,
Sounds like Mother God. I'm Hurricane City, yes.
L'Oreal. Somebody told me, my girlfriend who lived around like the Appalachia area, she said that a lot of women that are very poor, they get pregnant, they eat the red dirt because there's a lot of minerals in the dirt. And I was like, get the fuck out. And she's right.
Sometimes there is truth to some things, especially like folk remedies and stuff. There is truth to some of it, but a lot of it is just then on top of that, just like made up stuff. And sometimes it's hard to tell which is which.
It is.
I forget was it maybe FLDS or somebody who was like was talking on an interview about how it's commonplace to just snack on crunched up eggshells all the time.
What?
And they would like put it in all their foods and their drinks and stuff. And there's probably some nutrition to eggshells, but
sure.
I want to when like an eggshell gets in my mouth, it makes me want to throw up because I'm not expecting the crunch taste of it. No. I feel like that wouldn't be pleasant to just constantly like chewing on eggshells, but it's free.
Get in my gums. I think if you ground it up in a powder, maybe, but like.
But I don't know if there's any value to that or not.
I don't know. Somebody let us know.
Nutritionists out there, nutritionists would let us know.
Hype Train, chugga, chugga, chugga. Thank you for the subs, everybody. Hype Train. Next time we come on, I'm shaving my mustache. So let's keep those Hype Trains coming, all right?
Nightmare Taco, thank you for the sub. Yeah, the processed food. Well, who's laughing over there? Is that Tirzo? I don't eat processed food. I think the idea of processed food is very nebulous. It's like calling things organic.
Right. Well, the whole like fast food movement, because I'm, a woman of a certain age, and I remember like I would just eat beans and rice all the time, right? And I remember like McDonald's sort of popping up everywhere, and then everybody's grandma was just like, I don't want to cook today. We're going to McDonald's after church. So it was the grandparent boomers that made fast food profitable.
They made all the money off of it for sure. Yeah. I say have some a little bit sometimes. Everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. All right, now that we've given all of our health advice over that everybody tunes in for.
Health advice, right. You should drink more margaritas. That's for sure.
Woo! I say that gives you vitamin D, and because you have sex with people.
Vitamin F for fun.
Vitamin F for fun. There we go.
We've got some cases to talk about today.
Yeah, we got stuff, guys. We got stuff, but not all of it's bad. I don't know if I would necessarily call this first subject good, but I'm thankful. And also I appreciate everybody who's been sending me these articles too, because it's refreshing, I guess, to have more mainstream
eyes upon this.
Yeah.
And there's like doctors and shit talking about it. So like, it's important.
Doctors. Not like me.
Not like me.
But so we've had a lot of articles and coverage from mainstream media about how there's a bunch of predators online. That's not new, but this is one of the first times we're really seeing the focal point be on the parents who are creating the content for the predators, because it's not usually discussed because it's kind of taboo. For some reason, more taboo than putting your child in underwear and selling the photos. But so first we have a Wall Street Journal headline. I just wanted to throw it up there so everybody could check it out.
Excuse me.
That's different. We'll be talking about that later probably. But that is a different person who did something not good.
Oh, because that's about to be like, she looks really pretty, but
she's very cute.
She's evil. All right.
So this is first off also calling out Meta, which is good because they are aware. There's been whistleblowers now that have made it clear that they brought up, hey, these systems that you're setting up make it easier to sell children's photos to predators and target and like basically create an algorithm for predators specifically for children. Right. And they went, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's fine. Just don't. It's okay.
Because they're making money, and I guess that the green god is all that matters. I mean, we're talking like if your company's pulling in millions of dollars a month.
Jolly Green Giant.
Jolly Green Giant. He's our god now.
Ooh, peas.
Ooh. I mean, if your company's pulling in millions a month and like half of that is from pedophiles.
I would like to think it's not half. That is
I don't know.
bleak.
I'm pulling these numbers out of my ass. But a lot of them are pedophiles. Do they want to take that money away? I would say it's worth it.
No, apparently it's not.
No.
It's not, because they're doing the thing that a lot of companies do for some things that are maybe slightly less morally reprehensible, but where they go, yeah, this is not good morally, but it's legal. they're not breaking any laws, so why do we need to worry about it? Those parents should be the ones worrying about their children. The parents are running the accounts. Why is it our problem? They can just pull their kids off the internet, and they're right. But they're not gonna, because they keep making money. And some of those parents don't give a shit, which is something that we can talk about a little more with the New York Times coverage, which is something that came out like last week. If you want to pull that first New York Times. So this is the actual opening page, which I really thought was a cool way to introduce this subject.
Oh, it's a bunch of men being like, wowie, beautiful.
So if you can see at the top there, that's essentially a piece of text that's explaining that they are representing a real photo that's on the internet, and it is describing the little girl in it. So we're not showing the kid, but showing you what the photo would be,
yes,
right?
And what does it say up
And
top?
then underneath all of that are actual comments being left on that child's photo. So, you know, you can feel free to just pause and read through all of those. But this is something we've talked about a lot during our parasocial exploitation. I know we talk about it a lot. I cannot let this go until something changes. Sorry for those of you who don't want to hear more about it. But we got to keep talking about it because it's literally one of the worst things that I think our society is doing currently. And that's not the only worst thing, but that's pretty bad. So they did, I think, a really good job of kind of displaying that without showing the actual child. And that's how fucked up the photos are. They don't want to put it in the article, even like a blur, because it's very clearly made for adult men to purchase or to entice so that they will go get subscriptions to this little girl's account, which is another thing that this article talks about. So like we said, there's a lot of responsibility put on the parents' shoulders that if they are fine with doing this to their kids, then I guess the account, you know, the channels, the social media platforms, they don't need to worry about it. The parents said it was fine.
Right, because I think kids are considered property here.
Yeah, they are a lot of the time. If you want to go to that first slide, I'm going to pull it up on my own here. So this is a bunch of little different things I've pulled out of the New York Times article. I totally recommend that you also read it if you have the availability to. But on this first one here, we have some quotes from some of the mothers. So they actually interviewed a bunch of the moms who are running these accounts. And they went they basically all went by their middle names so that they couldn't really be sought out on the internet after they spoke with the New York Times, right? So there's one woman named Alyssa who has been exploiting her daughter, but she doesn't call it that, of course, for a while. And she is aware of the many, many men who approach her daughter and who offer money for things, and knows that the metrics of the account are predominantly adult men. And in the article, one of her quotes is, "I think they're all pedophiles," she said of the many online followers obsessed with her daughter and other young girls. It didn't help her to remove her daughter. She acknowledged it. She said, yes, my daughter's being followed by pedophiles, and was like, that sucks. And then that was it.
She didn't care.
She went, men are gross. Anyway, and then nothing, she didn't change the account at all. And the reason I wanted to pull some of these clips in is because there's some really severe mental gymnastics going on with a lot of these parents who did agree to talk with the New York Times. There's another woman who's going by Kaylin who has said, I really don't want my child exploited on the internet, but she's been doing this so long now, her numbers are so big. What do we do? Just stop it and walk away?
Yes.
Well, that was not the conclusion that she came to.
So she's a pimp. Like, these parents are pimps.
I mean, they are. They literally are.
Think of a pimp as like a man on the street with a long fur coat and like a cane, but sometimes it's a parent. It's like a godly woman.
Yeah. So a lot of the times. So she gave those rhetorical questions, but what she was actually saying is like, I'm not going to do that. The idea that could just happen, I guess, is too hard for her to process. You could just close your account. What am I supposed to do? Just stop posting her? I don't know.
Now she's an infant.
That's how, some of these fucking people act like they are. And then they also pulled, so the Times did a really good job of also going into things like Telegram, which is something we talked about on the series. There's different apps that you're more easily able to hide your identity. And so there's Telegram's one, there's one called Signal.
Those apps are always so scary.
Well, they are filled. They have big communities of sex offenders and predators and people who are fetishize little kids, and they all talk to each other. And so New York Times got into those, and they pulled clips from some of the Telegram groups, including "It's like a candy store," "God bless Instamoms," "Prayer hands." The predators know that. That's what's happening, and the mothers know, and the fathers. I'm not trying to just make this about moms, but it's a lot of it is mom ran accounts. So if you see there, you can pause if you want to go through them later. Those are all different descriptions of different photos of that they pulled, and some of the comments that are underneath those pictures.
Right. What's so crazy about this is how do you put the law down on this? I mean, if everybody has an internet handle. Do you just scroll through the whole internet and every time you see a child report the family? That sounds impossible.
It should be banned on the apps. The apps should not be catering to this because it's never going to be the parents stopping it.
Yeah. So I guess no one under 18 should ever post.
There's different ways that could be handled. But the thing is, I personally recommend to anybody that we know to barely, if ever, post your little kids online. Private your accounts. It's not going to protect them from everything, but normal photos of everyday activities is not going to draw a bunch of predators for the most part.
Right. I've seen my niece playing softball. That's fine.
It's relatively safe. Still be really cautious with stuff like that.
Right.
These kind of accounts are specifically catering content that will draw people to their child. And a lot of that traffic they're well aware of is adults and adult men. Adult women can be predators too.
Right.
But they are doing it because it makes them money. It is, and probably because it fills their ego in some way or another.
Probably makes them money. And I wonder if the future, thinking pulling back here, if this isn't stopped now, and we're having an influx of women having kids very young, with Roe v. Wade being overturned, and it's just going to get more and more financially impossible to live. Is this going to be worse 10 years down the road?
It definitely could be if we don't deal with it. Yeah.
Deal with it now.
And it's getting, it's pretty bad right now. If you want to go to the next slide.
Oh, somebody said it's called Dark, Lovely, and Deep.
Yes.
Lovely, Dark, and Deep. That's the name of the movie.
Lovely, Dark, and Deep. Thank you. That's the movie that Henry hurt himself in that I was like, oh, babe, no. It was him. So if you go to the next slide. So this is one of the other women who we just were mentioning whose daughter is now 17. The mom says she worries that a childhood spent sporting bikinis online for adult men has scarred her daughter. She's written herself off and decided that the only way she's going to have a future is to make a mint on OnlyFans, she said, referring to a website that allows users to sell adult content to subscribers. She has way more than that to offer. She then goes on to say, with wisdom and knowledge I have now, if I could go back, I definitely wouldn't do it. I've been naively feeding a pack of monsters, and the regret is huge. To that I say, you are full of complete shit.
Yeah.
You know what you knew, what you were doing.
A mother has a bond with these children. I mean, they were inside of you for 9 months. You don't think you know what you're doing and what your kid is feeling right now? Come on the fuck on.
I do.
You shared cells.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but you know who was funding your account. You know who's following it. You can follow them. You knew this. You knew. You just didn't care. You did the gymnastics to make it okay to do this to your kid. You did. I will say I'm glad that she's trying to say I regret it and I would never do it.
Right.
Maybe that'll reach one person. But I'm calling bullshit on you going like, what?
Whoa.
Wait,
I didn't know.
I thought it was little girls who wanted to see my daughter in a string bikini. I thought it was little girls who liked it.
Oh my God. Well,
no.
at least like there's articles being written about it. We're talking more and more about it. Like we're going to keep talking about it. Maybe laws can come about. I don't know what.
I know that we have limited to what we can do, but I do have to keep talking about it. Again, I'm sorry if it's something you don't want to hear, but I do think this is one of the most heinous things that we're doing as a generation. Because a lot of these are elder millennial, younger Gen X parents doing this.
There used to be elder millennial, younger Gen X. There used to be like, back in the day when TV was first in people's houses, there was a lot of sort of programs to get people to like how to behave. And there was this one, I forget what it was called, but it's basically like don't touch kids. And
You've talked about that before.
This little girl's like swimming in this pond and she's naked. And there's this old man, he's looking at her and he's really creepy. And the whole thing is like, you're a creep if you do this. It's bad for the whole generation. Like, marry a girl that's of age. Because I think she was like 12 in the propaganda documentary. So I think it's always been kind of going on.
Wait till she's 16.
So wait till
like
she's 16.
a proper man. Yeah, no, that's crazy. That's wild. But
Right.
I mean, I guess that's good. Do
good.
we need to make these for Instagram?
I think we need to make these again. Like, and I know this sounds like a cheesy, corny, like, not even cheesy, but just like, what do you mean don't have sex with 12-year-olds? I think we need to do that again.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of me.
Don't have sex with 12-year-olds. Like, make a show.
Let's put some LPN marketed PSAs out there. It might help.
PSAs, yes. These are like half-hour PSAs. They also had some of like, I don't want to get into it, but like there was a guy stalking kids, and he was giving him. He was like, "You want to come over and be a real man?"
What?
It was like pedophilia, more pet. It was a lot of anti-pedophilia stuff.
I guess it's good they were trying.
I guess.
I don't know.
They were doing. We need to do it again. I think.
Can you go to the next slide, the fourth one? I'm not going to keep talking. This is towards the end of this, but I just wanted to pull some stuff up.
Certain parts of Florida have billboards that say "She's your daughter, not your date." Good Lord. I mean, we need to bluntly do this again. Like, she's 12 years old, it's too young. And I know that sounds weird, and like, why do we need to say this? But we need to say this to be, like, obviously. We do it again.
Is it because there's too much water around? Is it because Florida looks like a penis? Why
Right.
is it like that?
It's very phallic.
I wonder who put those out, those billboards.
I don't know.
That's-
She's your daughter, not your date. I guess maybe somebody. Do you think somebody's gonna drive and be like, "All right, I guess she's not my date. All right."
You know, it's possible for one again. If it was one person that stopped, I guess good. If one person went, you know what, you're right.
You're right.
Maybe I should talk to somebody about this.
God, remember this is your brain on drugs, like the egg cracking.
I do remember.
We need something like that for pedophiles in like 2024.
Maybe they need to eat more eggshells.
Right.
I don't know. We could try it.
We could.
Can you pull that one up? So this is where'd it go? So this is just openly by the end of the article. It is blatantly explaining that many of the parents are openly and actively aware and interact with the predators. And they're not technically doing anything illegal because it's not nudity, but it turns into that sometimes. Excuse me. There are people who have been caught. We've talked about a couple of them on the show, but there are parents who are being prosecuted for pushing past the one level. Like, it should already be heavily illegal what they were doing before, but it wasn't. But then they went past that to nudity, and then they get charged with the photographers who are asking for the content.
Oh, like that Starlight place?
Yeah, so that was one. So, you know, in this article, it's saying things like, message me anytime, you'll have more opportunities for buying and receiving super exclusive content. That is a description for minors, like an Instagram subscription for $25 a month. For $100 a month, that subscribers to that child's Instagram can get live interactive video chats, unlimited direct messaging, and a mention on the girl's Instagram story. Who do you think is purchasing that?
I don't understand how you can't like take the Instagram thing of the girl and see who subscribes, who pays, and then go knock on their fucking door and then check their computer. Like, that's enough of a warrant to check their hard drive.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Because technically, we've not made this illegal. This is technically not breaking a law.
This is just legal pedophilia?
Yeah,
Cool.
it really is. I mean, let's just cut to the chase. That's what it is. Just the same as legal pedophilia if you marry a minor in our country.
Right, and then it's usually girls, but she can't get a divorce until she's 18, and then now you're married, but she can get married.
Yep, can't get a divorce though. That's real. If you didn't listen to our American Child Bride, you can marry a minor in a lot of states still in the country, and they are not permitted to be divorced because they essentially become the guardian of the kid until they turn 18 years old.
I think California has no minimum age to marry.
0.
Our beloved liberal state. You can marry a toddler if you want.
You can't. You just have to find a judge who will agree to it. But
Sure.
yeah, there's a couple steps, but the you can marry from age 0 up in California. So
great.
Yeah, so a lot of this is fun. So just to wrap all of this up, I wanted to bring up the end of this too. We talked about Brand Army a couple streams ago, and it was because they had a junior. It's like a clothed only fan with like a junior segment, and the founder of that company, his name is Ramon Mendez, said he stopped the new signups for that branch. He wrote, "We removed thousands of pieces of content. The parents' behavior is just disgusting. We don't want to be a part of it." So their branch of their clothed OnlyFans that had the junior whatever, the parents were being too disgusting for the company, and so he stopped taking on new teenagers.
Whoa.
But yeah,
parents were too disgusting.
Last thing I want to say on this article, I really think you should read through it, but I just wanted to say quickly, one of the people used a Bible quote to defend why they put their kid on the internet. What? "The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. So sometimes you got to use the things of this world to get where you need to be as long as it's not harming anybody." So
I guess your child isn't a person because that's harming them.
If you want to do something horrible to your kid, there's something in the Bible you can say. I promise you that.
God, I hate religions, like any kind of religion, where somebody wants to act like a piece of shit and then they just pull from some book and they're like, "See, it says it here," and they just twist and turn. I really just think it's not, I don't know, if you want to believe in a God for yourself or for your own whatever, I do.
Yeah.
But if you want to hurt people and twist and turn words, then
I just like in that Bible quote, that person who's exploiting kids for money is saying, I guess they're the righteous one, and they're getting the wealth from the pedophiles, and it's being laid upon them, the righteous person, by God. God wants
this.
The children in bikinis.
It's such a weird thing right now, because I was talking to you before the stream. We're going into like a Puritan culture right now. I mean, there's a video I was going to show tonight, but it didn't quite fit in with the thing. But it's just girls dancing in Mardi Gras at a gas station. And everybody was like, aghast. And they couldn't believe it. And America is doomed. And what happened to the patriarchy? And
I
women
do think that video, we can play it maybe either next week or something, or the next one we do. By the way, announcement right in the middle. We're going to weekly starting March 13th. So not next week, but the week after, we're going to weekly Sponge streams every week Wednesday, and they'll be uploaded to our podcast stream.
Yeah, to the Stitcher.
To the feed.
The feed. You can listen to something like this. Like, it's not technically the show, because we're going to come back.
We're going to come back with a season, but we're on hiatus right now. But so it'll get uploaded to the feed if you'd rather listen to the podcast, and we'll make announcements about all that.
Yeah, what if you're doing dishes and you want to be enraged?
Yeah,
right?
Just break all your dishes.
Right. I just find it so weird that like purity culture's coming back, but also pedophilia is also back better than ever.
I mean, those things go like this, guys. Those are together. We all understand that, right?
Can a woman just dance
together
at a gas station and it's fine, but like kids in bikinis with pedophiles, like...
Yeah,
that's not fine. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, I know what you're saying, and they go together like peas and carrots. They really do. But that video specifically you're talking about, I think there's some racial dog whistles going on in there.
It's mostly racial because it's white women dancing
little
to like
white girls
R&B
in it.
Song, yeah.
That's my guess on that. But El Condor past the 69, can we celebrate Mitch McConnell retiring in November? We absolutely should do an actual celebration. That's fantastic. I can't right now because of the kids and the bikinis, but good. Let's put Mitch McConnell in a bikini, and then he gets uploaded to Instagram.
Yeah.
You actually bet he'd make money if he did that.
The thing, I think with those kind of men, you can't make fun of them with sexuality like you could with a woman. With those kind of men, the way to really get them at their goat is to make fun of their money and to call them poor. That's what makes them fucking freak out, because you could put Mitch McConnell in a bikini and he would laugh and be like, oh, look, yeah, blah. But if you say, like, how much money do you have in your bank account right now? Can you take me to Applebee's, or are you too fucking broke? I think he would.
Can't afford to buy lips.
Yeah.
Got him.
He can't. I think he would lose his mind. It's different.
Yeah, you're right.
Thanks.
Something else that right in that realm, but a little different. It's goodish news. We probably all know here, if you listen to Spun, Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt have been sentenced to prison. They just received their prison sentence. It's a good thing. I did want to clarify a couple things, because I think it's still getting shared around that they could be facing 60 years. Even after the sentence, it's still not a set amount of time, unfortunately, and it's never going to be 60 years because it's Utah. So the max that they can serve is 30 years based on the Utah laws. And then they basically are currently facing 4 to 30 years, even after the sentencing. So the way it works in Utah, for whatever reason, is that it's up to the parole board. Like, there's a lot of weight that's put on the parole board in Utah for, I'm not entirely sure why. So they could get out in 4 years. I don't think Jodi's going to. I think it's possible Ruby could. We'll see. I'm hoping for at least 8 years for Ruby. But some of the reason why is because they take into account the way that you handled yourself in court. And so I'm going to first play a quick clip. I think it's just important for us to hear. This is Ruby Franke's lawyer listing off some of the things that the kids went through right before they're being sentenced.
Because if you don't know about this case, you're like, why are these two blonde women going to prison?
Oh, they're so
pretty.
blonde.
I don't get it. But they're monsters.
The state respectfully requests that the court sentence Ms. Franke to consecutive prison terms for each of the 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. This sentence was agreed to by Ms. Franke in her plea agreement and is also recommended by adult probation and parole. She committed horrible acts of child abuse. From May to August in 2023, Ms. Franke and her business partner held her 2 children, ages 9 and 11, turning 12, in a concentration camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. They were isolated from others and were hidden when people came to visit the house where the children and the defendants were staying. The children were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and wall sits or sitting against a wall without a chair or a stool for hours at a time. They were also forced to do manual labor outdoors in the extreme summer heat, at times without shoes or socks. They were forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days at a time. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was regularly bound hand and foot after he attempted to run away in mid-July. Both children had extensive physical injuries from the abuse that required hospitalization when they were found. The injuries from the binding to the 12-year-old are particularly awful. In addition to physical...
It goes on for a while, and for whatever reason, they didn't even include some of the worst physical abuse that those kids went through, including being thrown into a cactus over and over again.
Oh my God. And didn't you say there was like homemade remedies for like cutting or something?
Well, because of things like being bound, that the 12-year-old was hogtied for hours, and the bindings ripped all the way down to the bone. And because it was child abuse, they couldn't take him to a hospital, so they just used honey and cayenne and wrapped the wounds.
Sorry, I almost threw up a little bit.
That would have been honestly amazing if you just threw up. fair response. So it is. Those kids were gonna die. Like those, it's a miracle that they didn't. It's not a miracle. I shouldn't say that. It was because the little boy saved himself and his sister.
Right.
No adults came and protected them. Police failed. CPS failed. I mean, people were being called over and over again, and they were ignored. The little boy saved himself and his family.
He ran to the neighbors, and this is Utah, mind you. So a neighbor is like across a desert bound. It's like Moses has to run to the neighbor. That's how far he had to go.
And it's just like, yeah, it's really hot and unforgiving weather, and so that's happening. What I will say is, Ruby, you maybe have already seen some of the coverage of this. She does take accountability to an extent. She does say, I deserve jail time. I was led astray. She blames a lot of it on Jodi. I will say that Jodi definitely manipulated her, but that woman was already hurting her children openly. I mean, she was making money off of like her daughter going bra shopping, and then going like, I'm pure. I'm away from the wicked world. Here's my daughter trying her first bra on for money. So she was not what I would consider a good parent beforehand, or I don't think a good person, I should say.
People love to parade their kids around and just be like the goody two shoes.
Well, they have like such a weird thing about modesty culture in the LDS, but yet she was monetizing her daughter shaving her legs in her private bathroom for the first time. She was monetizing that and like mocking her daughter's pubic hair. But modesty culture, right? Am I right, guys?
That's just going to mean you're going to grow up and be like, I don't know what's right and wrong. I don't know what my body is.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I saw somebody for like an LDS member the other day on X, and they said, so I notice a lot of women don't have children now because they said they're not used to it. But what we need to do is start training girls at a younger age how to be like touched by other children, and how to always be needed from something. And I was like, oh, that's grooming.
That's weird.
That's grooming. And granted, it was just like a random person. It could have been anybody, but I looked and they were like from an LDS church.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess grooming kids, young age.
Yeah, we definitely don't try to convince little girls to be moms enough in our society. So I just wanted to quickly also show a clip. The Ruby's, basically both Ruby and Jodi gave their statements before their sentence was given out. And Ruby's was quite long. I'm not playing the whole thing, but a lot of people have commented and noted that it does read like an acceptance speech for a lot of it. So she does apologize. I don't know if she actually apologizes, but she kind of takes accountability. But then I just wanted to play this little clip of her acceptance speech, I guess.
Oh, right, the award speech.
Thank you to the officers in Santa Clara and the Ivan City Police. Nick Hellman, Brian Palufo, Cy Pikuvit, Mike Pondoyo in Tobler, John Ward, Dee Lewis, and Chief Flowers. You were the angels who came and saved my children. I especially want to thank Detective Jay Bate. She plucked me out of a situation I didn't know how to get out of. And the moment she handcuffed me was the moment I gained my freedom. You were not the controlling ones. I was. Thank you to the medical staff at Intermountain Hospital. Your skill, tenderness, and professionalism helped to heal my children. Jodi and I inflicted the injuries, not the hospital. Thank you to DCFS, the Children's Justice Center, Judge Basil, and other key adults. You've gathered my children under your wing and offered them love, compassion, encouragement.
There's her.
You were not the ones who were doing the brainwashing.
There in the front.
Thank you to my Bishop Tom Hawks and my state president Jim Nelson for reminding me of the Lord's love for the lost.
I can't with tears. I can't. Like, I'm an emotional girl myself. I'm a Cancer. No big deal. But
That's why I abused my children, because I'm a Cancer rising.
But I'm pretty elevated. Like in my past, I could get emotional and cry a little bit, but now I'm an adult. And so when I see people cry like this, I'm like, oh, you want a cry match? I'll cry too, bitch. I'll cry louder than you. Let's keep going.
Oh, cry off. Cry off. Cry off. Cry.
Well, I'll go loud. I don't care.
Yeah, it's hard to take. I do think it's important that she said, I've done this stuff. I did it. It's the bare minimum.
She should hold an award.
That's what it felt like. Like she was like holding her little tin can she gets from jail. Yeah, it's a little silly.
What happened to the dad? Somebody asked about the dad.
Oh, so that was the dad in the front row, by the way. If you go back and look at the footage, her husband is currently not facing any charges. A lot of people are very angry about that, myself included. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't really think he deserves custody of any of the kids. Currently, he doesn't hold custody of any of the kids.
He knew what was going on. He didn't give a shit.
He participated in a lot of it. He also has shown that he doesn't have enough discernment. I know people get warped and brainwashed. I'm not saying that any of us are able to be we all are. We can all make horrible choices. It's when it goes to that level with 6 children that you brought into this world that I feel like there's a line that's been crossed that you can't go back from.
Not at all.
So he is not right now, but he doesn't have custody of the kids currently, and there's still a chance. I don't think that he will face charges, but a lot of people disagree with that, and I also do.
Crimson Cheek says, raised LDS, and I was bullied relentlessly by adults for my lack of modesty, aka behaving exactly like a normal teenager would. And yet these people also subscribe to children's OnlyFans? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm confused.
Well, I've heard from other LDS people, and thank you for that comment, not just LDS, but definitely in LDS, that a lot of the bishops and people, the presidents and all those people say stuff about like taking pride in your modesty or like learning to control your body and like by... A lot of times, it's not even just religious. In a lot of settings, if you are young and your boobs grow, your outfits have to be considered differently because you are tempting people with your boobies.
That's what they told Jessica Simpson when she's first coming
out.
Well,
she grew up also in a horribly gross conservative world. So she was a gospel singer or whatever. Her dad is a fucking... Don't get me started.
My favorite is when pastors say, like, why is everybody so against modest women? And I'm like, way to gaslight us.
No one's against modest women.
No one cares. Wear whatever you want. You guys are against modest women. You guys are fucking creepy.
Yeah, you're creepy. I wanted to real quick go also, I just wanted to show you Jodi's. Hers is very brief, but I also wanted to show you her walk-in because let's just talk about it after it's played. Let's play that clip of Jodi.
Court recalls the matter of State of Utah versus Hildebrandt. Kate, go ahead.
I sincerely love these children. I desire for them to heal physically and emotionally. One of the reasons I did not go to trial is that I did not want them to emotionally relive the experience which would have been detrimental to them.
Why was it detrimental?
My hope and prayer is that they will heal and move forward to have beautiful lives. I am willing to submit to what the state feels would be an appropriate amount of time served to make retribution.
No responsibility. She's taking no. I'll submit to what the state does, and you guys did it. You tortured children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And not just them. Generations destroyed families. I'm going to show you another clip that I'm very happy about. But
oh, sorry. Somebody said, how is children on OnlyFans legal? We discussed this a couple of sessions ago. There is a site that's like OnlyFans for young content creators. It's 13 and under. So essentially it's called Brand Army. There's an adult segment and a junior segment, which you can be 13 to 17 with parents' permission. And it is a subscription based. It's the same thing Instagram is doing, but it's its own account. So it is like OnlyFans, where you create content for members and it's just no nudity allowed. But all of the minors who have been on it
are selling only their content to adult. You cannot subscribe to them unless you are an adult.
Right. So I can't be a 13-year-old girl looking at other 13-year-old girls. I have to be over 18.
Yeah. So they can do the contortion of, well, that's just the parents buying the accounts for the little girls. They're subscribing. No, they're not. There's no kid. There's no little girl subscribing to those accounts.
No.
There's just not.
No, they want to go to Sephora with that money.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about following your child's subscription. You know this.
Sorry, but you have one more clip to show us.
So the Jodi one real quick, I wanted to say, this walk in, this is how she goes. She's like,
oh, she's scared and cold.
That's how she walked in, and it is such manipulation. She is doing this thing where she's now trying to appear meek and scared. She's always the victim. No matter what happens, that woman is always the victim. She torture porned children for decades. She held a boy in hogtied bounds and like deprived him of water for days at a time, locked him in a safe. And she's going, I guess I'll just, because I'm so good, I'll listen to what the state wants. And it wants pity. She wants fucking pity. It's mind-blowing. And I don't know if she really thinks she loves the kid. She might. Maybe she thinks that's love. I don't know. But that was a wild little presentation she just made. But the last thing on this case I really wanted to show you guys, we did a whole episode on Adam Steed. He was one of Jodi's victims. He and his father were the whistleblowers in a huge Boy Scout scandal when he was a kid, a part of the LDS Church. LDS Church and the Boy Scouts tried to villainize him, but he got a child molester in jail, got one of his bishops who was also in the Boy Scouts.
He's been through a lot.
Yeah. And so way later on, we did if you want to listen to his entire story, either you can listen to him, although a lot of his content's been pulled down by the LDS Church legally. What? Yeah. But you can listen to our episode. We talk about him. But he also was in court for Jodi's sentencing because this woman had ruined his life is an understatement, what she did to this guy. And it's not just him. She's done this to a lot of people. But he's one of the people who's been willing to speak out about it. And so he was in court. And then this happened right after the sentencing when Law and Crime TV was talking about the situation in the court.
Hi there. Okay, we've got another interview.
Do you guys want to know who Jodi Hildebrandt is? Here, I'll answer your questions. He's her attorney. He can't answer them. My name's Adam Paul Steed, and if you guys want to know who Jodi Hildebrandt is, I'll answer tons of questions about her. I know my dad. Hey, Dad, come here. Come here. My dad has a file at home that's probably about 2,500 pages of records from court filings and just huge amount of documentation about Jodi Hildebrandt that we will share with everybody. I want you to know the same court that has ordered us not to share these documents is covering up this racket that Jodi Hildebrandt had with the Mormon Church in the 4th District Utah County Court. She abused my children the same way, almost, even in a different type of abuse. I think it could be argued worse. And that was 15 years ago. And I fought against Jodi Hildebrandt with my family and everybody to stop this monster of a lady. And Jodi went after me. She went after me to destroy my life in the craziest way you could ever think of possible. Like, I was a victim of sexual abuse at Boy Scouts of America, Camp Little Lemhi in Idaho. And my dad helped us stop a predator. You can read it in the national press and everything. We changed the laws of sexual abuse so victims could come forward. We got rid of the criminal and civil statute limitations. The Mormon Church knew who we were. And Elder Helam, Richard G. Helam, was he was the president of the First Quorum of the 70, the top probably executive functioning leader of the whole Mormon Church. And he sat with Jodi Hildebrandt as they destroyed my life in this court racket, like they've destroyed countless other people's lives.
Yeah, get him, yeah, go.
He's so calm, and you could tell he's so enraged.
Oh man, it just like got into my bones.
Yeah.
So basically he pulled like an evil Kanye, where he took them. He's like, I'm gonna let you finish,
And
but let me
go. And the reporter was good. She was like, I guess take the mic.
Yeah, thankfully he wasn't just a lunatic. He was like a person who actually had experience. But his entire thing that he just did at the end of that sentencing is like 8 or 9 minutes. I think a lot of it got pulled off of Law and Crime. You can still find it on Hidden True Crime. I have the full
Why did
interview.
he keep pulling his stuff off? He's the victim.
Well, I think partly because he did the brave thing and called out LDS Church, named specific people who were helping Jodi do these things.
Wow.
And I feel like probably they're very fancy lawyers that they have from all their tithings, from all of their poor people who give them money every week, can pay for attorneys who can get stuff pulled off TV.
God, and I'll say this, it's good to have money, but like you're using money for this? Bad. We were driving, I forget where, San Diego, and I saw one of the LDS churches, and it's just undescribably wealthy. I can't, these are kingdoms.
They are, for sure.
This is a medieval kingdom right here in America.
Which I love. I love some pizzazz.
I love pizzazz. I love architecture. I love wealth. I want to be fancy. But like you're using this money, this untaxable money, to infiltrate politics.
And
law,
to cover up sex crimes.
To cover up sex crimes.
A lot of sex crimes.
Yeah, they either need to be taxed or something. You can't do this.
Well, yeah, and it's garbage. And I think that because he was brave enough to say people's names, and I understand that there's some legal issues with that, but he has faced a lifetime of this shit, of being rolled over and used and lied to, and his life was destroyed by this woman and by the church repeatedly. I mean, he didn't get to see his kids for a long time. They made him out to be a child molester, which he did not do any of that.
Crimson Cheek says, my cousin is a temple architect. What should I ask her? Oh, very,
Is there, are there
There's a female architect for the temple?
I mean,
Yes.
oh my God, progress. Okay.
All right. Yeah, write us. Write us at someplaceunderneath@gmail.com.
Oh, I want to know if there's is there different architects so they have secret hallways and stuff that not everybody knows all the blueprints?
Some H.H. Holden stuff?
Yeah. That's what I want to know.
I love it.
Because they've got to have secret rooms in there. You know they do.
I grew up in Idaho. They built an enormous white temple right by my mom's house. It's fucking ugly and takes up so much land. It's such a waste of space, and it funds these horrible people. And didn't you say in Utah that actually liquor stores gave more tax dollars to the public than the church?
Yeah, I don't have the stat in front of me, but it was somewhere. I can't verify it 100%, but the stat was essentially there was more public service done by the money from liquor on taxes for liquor in Utah than that church gave to Utah for public wellness.
In a dry state,
yeah.
That's how little they're giving money. I was talking to an Uber driver, and he said he was driving through Utah. He's kind of new to America, and he was like, wanted to drive around a bit. He's like, I was driving through Utah, and there was nowhere to pull over. There wasn't even gas stations. And every person I spoke to, they were very cold. And I was like, yeah, they don't want you there.
No.
They don't want anybody there.
They definitely don't want anybody there who's not supposed to be there.
Right.
This is not just a call out on the LDS Church. Obviously, I'm not saying that they're bad guys and everybody else is great, but it's the system that's set up in those kind of communities, and just so happens that the people we've been covering keep ending up being LDS members. But also, I just love Adam Steed so much, and I was so proud of him for doing that. It made me so happy the first time I watched it. I was prancing around the room, just being like, yeah, get him.
Get him. Yeah,
so happy for him.
Scientologies are also terrible. You're right,
Yes,
Haley.
it's actually, they share a lot of traits. Those Scientology and LDS are very similar in a lot of ways.
I think we're just anti-people with unchecked power, and we see a lot of LDS with unchecked power. I'm anti any religion, any foundation with unchecked power.
I agree.
I'm a bitch.
I mean, me too, baby. Me too. Unchecked power. It doesn't do good for anybody, for sure.
No, that's why because I think in the Bible they like to like these men. They pull up all these scriptures and like women have to have kids, otherwise they're going to get in the business of men, aka being like, what are you doing?
And you know what? They're right, because one woman who got through is Jodi Hildebrandt. So you know what? We shouldn't. We're bad.
We're bad. We don't have kids, and look what we're doing.
Yep. Jodi Hildebrandt has 2 kids, but they don't speak to her. So.
Right.
That's cool.
Should we do some fun videos?
We went right through. I was going to talk about the Rush trial because it's not specifically a spun-centric thing, but because of my stun experience, I have a lot of opinions about the armorer for Rust is being, she's currently on trial, but maybe next time we talk about it, there's a little guy there. Maybe if you guys are interested, we can talk about the Rust situation, because we're just like to talk about stuff.
We'll always have something to talk about.
Unfortunately. Do you want to do questions or video first?
Let's do a couple questions, I guess. If anybody has any questions, write them in. Or how about we show a short video, write in some questions, we'll answer them. Let's do the lady with the flames.
To the ones that counted me out, those that never believed in me, those that left me for dead. Peekaboo, motherfucker. I'm still here. I'm still here. Stronger than you ever dreamed.
That's me.
That's me.
That's me. Somebody's filming her, and you can hear them breathing. I'm guessing it's her husband.
I hope it's somebody fun.
I hope so. I hope they fuck after this.
I do feel like she's probably alienated a lot of her family,
right.
But
she's the problem aunt.
I love this journey. I'm very proud of her outfit.
Right. Peekaboo, motherfucker.
I love that her arms are cut off when she's doing it.
Flames, I guess.
I'm proud of her.
I'm proud of her. Peekaboo, motherfucker. That's how you should open up next week. Hi, we peekaboo, motherfucker.
Well, see, are we going to get a shaving? 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now.
We're going to start doing every week from March 13th on here.
And we're going to christen the first one with me shaving my mustache. How exciting is this?
Ooh, I can do an exploitation video where I get you and you're like, I don't really want it. And I go, just show them. Sometimes people need to see it. It's like we're real. And you're like, mustache. I don't want to. I'm like, fuck, shave it.
Should I grow it out and get it like long? Because I can get it but I also have to live my life. I don't know. How long should I get this thing?
I think this is an Amber call. She's going to have to come up with it.
Maybe I'll wait a couple days.
Don't do this as a poll because you know how it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think you got some questions?
Thank you for the subs tonight. Winter Soul Honey, the proper order. Nightmare Taco, Naked Comedy. What are your thoughts on the FOSTA SESTA legislation the government's pushed? I am not up on that at all, so I can't speak on it. I will look it up and I will talk about it. I'm sorry, I am not up to date on that at all. There's certain aspects of current news that I'm definitely behind on.
Oh, Thomas the Twerkin subscribed for Tier 1. They subscribed for 8 months. Fuck yeah!
That sounds fancy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Great job. Thank you, guys.
You get one Amber dance every time you do it. Ooh.
Right here, baby. Right here. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Can't you wait? This is going to be so gross.
No, you're beautiful.
Oh, well, I don't think, because I know we had subs, but I don't think they're on there. But that's okay.
Oh, I did. I said them.
You said them? You got it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for everybody for helping us and all this stuff.
Oh, how are we feeling about the IVF stuff in Alabama? I love it, Holly23. I think it's cool as fuck.
They don't know what they're talking about.
They don't understand.
More kids.
So many of the people who make laws about childbirth or sexual health don't even know what labias are and have never heard of Evolve. They don't know anything about it. So that's part of this fun journey we are on in this experiment we call the United States of America.
That's right. Nightmare Stacco. Thank you for gifting a tier 1 to Sub Louis Vuitton. We love you guys. It's 6 o'clock. Tears of a Clan is coming right on next. So stick around and join us for more fun.
It'll be different. There's no more child exploitation. I swear to God.
Unless it's Tears, though.
Just adult exploitation.
That's right.